you have an idea or a drive, like you should become an entrepreneur, I would actually advise strongly against it. Frankly, a bit of insanity is not a trait that you find in a lot of people.
Along with his partners, he built the leading esports platform, scaled from 0 to over 30 million users. From bootstrapping to scaling to merging, they ultimately sold the business for $1.5 billion.
And you get to the end of the journey, you sell, a big change in your life. How do you process that?
As an exited founder and investor of 70 plus startups, Mick Attisani proved that belief overcomes every challenge.
Obviously, a lot of decisions we made, people thought we were insane for. I think the first was like starting the company in the first place.
But behind the passion and drive is a man who faced it all.
It is very tough to manage. I remember to the lowest point and turning myself into A&E.
Doubt, panic, and unimaginable challenges on his journey towards building $1 billion company.
Particularly from an emotional perspective, is a real challenge for many founders. What advice do you have for founders that are facing that roller coaster today?
We sit with Mick as he shares the lessons, grit, and belief that built $1 billion company.
Similar to me, you had lots of ups and downs on your journey with FACEIT. Raising some money, closing a round, making a great hire, launching a new product. Sometimes you have the downs of bad user feedback, you're almost out of runway. That roller coaster, particularly from an emotional perspective, is a real challenge for many founders. What advice do you have for founders that are facing that roller coaster today?
It is very tough to manage. I mean, I remember to the lowest point, even turning myself into A&E, having a panic attack after huge amount of work and maybe hitting walls many times. But ultimately, we always believed that, and we always had the support of let's say our customers and our users, and as long as we ultimately generally made up to them, provided a value for them, they were patient with us, and ultimately having the right team, the right people, supporting each other, and pulling through is what really matters. At the end of the day, the best moments we had in the life of our company were overcoming some of the biggest obstacles and challenges. Every time we hit a wall, we managed to raise back and build a much stronger company from that, and everyone matured and raised to the challenge, and that's ultimately what made us successful.
And you get to the end of the journey, you sell, right? Must be a big shift, a big change in your life. How do you process that?
It's a real whirlwind of emotions, right? On one hand, obviously, having to achieve your goal of company success, financial success, personal success. It's very gratifying. At the same time, after having spent over 10 years with this, I would say, soul obsession, not having that anymore is hugely destabilizing as well, right? So I think it has an impact on your identity. It can often lead to identity crisis. That's something I learned meeting other exited founders as well over time. I thought I was, a bit weird, but the reality is it happens more often than not with exits. And it takes time to just, find your new footing, your new, self, and, be happy with it.
So if you talk about the moment you knew you'd sold the company, what was the first feeling or emotion you had?
The first feeling was relief, because we went through...
It's the same for everyone. Yeah. Everyone thinks it's happiness or joy. Yeah. It's just relief, right? Yes. You've got it done.
Yeah. No, I think the amount of stress we had in the last, say, 1 year probably, because the process was quite long. The amount of stress that we had during that time was just pretty insane. And we went through a long process where things were effectively out of our hands, because we signed, a sale agreement, but we were still going through a lot of approvals in different countries around antitrust and other things. And so we just basically had to sit and wait for months, and that was a very stressful time. But relief was definitely the overwhelming feeling.
You've now invested in more than 70 companies, if I'm not wrong. Is there a particular investment you're proud of?
There's many. I mean, obviously you don't have a favorite child. I've done like, over 70 as an angel, and now like, over 10 with Insiders, our new venture fund. No, I mean it's been a great opportunity to partner with entrepreneurs, which is now like, a great joy for me to be able to share and be like, a small part of their journey and being able to support them. So in different ways, there's been, very many that we were passionate about.
Is there a particular technology or sector that you're very interested in for the next 5 years or 10 years?
I mean, it's a pretty obvious answer here.
Just making it easy for you, man. I'm just trying to make you relax,
Yeah. No, I've definitely been very impressed with the evolution of AI and machine learning. This is an area where we spent a lot of time previously building a FACEIT. We built a lot of our core systems using machine learning. Certainly, like, it gave us a lot of satisfactions, but with now, like, say, LLMs and the new generation of machine learning coming to the market, we've seen a huge shift and transformation, which I think is like, we could probably parallel to the invention of the internet or, industrial revolution. So I've been pretty obsessed with everything AI for the last 2-3 years. And that was one of the big driver for me also to spend more time around investing, give me the opportunity to have time to learn and to study and to meet like interesting and smart people in the space and learn from everyone.
Going back to the exit quickly,
Mm-hmm.
what was the first thing you bought or celebrated with after the exit was complete?
First thing I bought after the exit was a house in London. I wanted to build my dream house, and I did that. And it was a labor of love, and I'm very happy I spent the money.
Yeah. You're still there, I hope. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think success makes you more or less cautious?
I think success makes you more cautious broadly. Obviously, like you have more wealth to manage, so you can take risk even more risk in certain areas, but without, let's say, compromising your overall like wealth. In a way, yes, you're maybe broadly more cautious, but the reality is like it allows you to take a lot more risk as well, which I love.
Do you think the world needs more rebels or more listeners?
Wow. I think we need more rebels. Ultimately, like we have, rebels are the ones that move humanity forward. And I think we have a system that hopefully allows us to, well, not always, but most of the time, live with a pretty civil society. And within this framework, rebels are the ones that can really, transform humanity for the better.
Is there a rule or piece of advice you've had over the years which is conventional, which you think is completely wrong or overrated?
I think a conventional bit of wisdom that is overrated is that if you have an idea or a drive, like you should become an entrepreneur. I would actually advise strongly against it. Oftentimes, like it takes a lot to get there. So the level of conviction you need to have, and perseverance, and frankly a bit of insanity as well, it's not a trait that you find in a lot of people.
Is there any way to test for that? If there's someone out there watching this who's currently working in a big bank or a consultancy or a private equity group or whatever they may be doing.
Look, the test is very simple. At the end of the day, if everyone that you know and you love tells you not to do it, and every person that you don't know and seek advice from tells you not to do it, and you still decide to do it, then yes, you're probably meant to be. Obviously, a lot of decisions we made, people thought we were insane for. I think the first was like starting the company in the first place, right? And we realized that when we started like pitching VCs all around the world, trying to raise money, and everyone thought we were completely nuts. Didn't think like, people playing video games online and, making money by winning tournaments, or, people watching other people playing video games online was ever going to be more than, a very small niche.
So I think, one part of being a successful entrepreneur is embracing ambiguity.
Mm-hmm.
And you recently, I think, retweeted Alexis Ohanian, who said, like, being an entrepreneur is like embracing being uncomfortable 99% of the time. What do you think it is about embracing ambiguity that makes entrepreneurs successful?
It's not like, anyone enjoys, or at least I don't enjoy it. It's almost like a drug. You can't live without it, right? You always drag yourself back into it. And ultimately, that's what drives you to, do things differently. And being an entrepreneur is basically like designing a new path that didn't exist before. And I think that's a necessary trait if you want to achieve that.
Is there a contrarian idea that you still believe in that you haven't acted on yet? I can give you mine as an example. Would that help?
Yeah, sure.
I think we're about to enter a new age of religion, is my contrarian idea.
Right.
I think, we went from the Renaissance era where, like, pre-Renaissance, you had like a very theocentric view of the world where God was all powerful. You move into the Renaissance era where humans become all powerful. And now we're entering the machine era where machines become all powerful. And I think that's going to lead humanity to return more to religion. And whilst we've seen declining sort of participation in religion around the world, I think we're going to see a big uptick in religious participation. So that's my contrarian idea that most people will disagree with, but that's mine. Hopefully that helps inspire you.
Right. Yeah, my contrarian idea is that democracy has failed and we need a new system to govern. I don't think that system has been invented yet, but hopefully with a conjunction of artificial intelligence and, maybe more consciousness around what really matters to make countries successful and populations happy and people welfare, we can evolve into a better system.